How's it going, guys and gals? This is Anthony and today we're back at it with a new video where today we'll be talking about the very late review of Survivor Series 2025 in San Diego, which I couldn't review because my voice was messed up from a cold. And also Saturday night's main event in its 42nd edition, which also spelled the end of John Cena's career. And I have a lot of stuff to talk about that main event. But first, if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So let's start with the Survivor Series 2025 review in San Diego, California, where the show kicked off with the women's WarGames match. In this match, obviously, the babyfaces won the advantage match because they wanted to build the tension between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, where they were like, that in the build-up, Charlotte left the team, but then she came back because of Alexa and all that stuff. So that's why the babyfaces had the advantage to build that dissension, that tension between the two of them on the build-up. This match was and for me, I really like, for a second year in a row, Rhea Ripley comes out with a mask because last year she broke her nose. This year she fractured her orbital bone on the Japan house shows after Crown Jewel. And that Art the Clown mask was the best thing about this match. That's all I'm gonna say. The match was flowing nicely until Nia Jax and Lash Legend came in. And I understand Lash being the last one to enter because she's the least experienced. Let's have all of the veterans in the ring. So once the least experienced one comes in, she doesn't have to have a lot of the load of the match. But man, was that a mistake. Once Nia and Lash came in, the match down the freaking drain. And what really surprised me was that they had Becky tap out to the Black Widow by AJ Lee. That really surprised me. Because I'm like, why aren't you saving that for when they have their actual match, maybe at WrestleMania 42? Why aren't you doing it now instead of saving it for later? When it means something. But that is the only good thing that I can say about this match. Next up we had I don't remember which match came next, if it was either the Women's World Title match or the IC title match. But let's talk about the Women's World Title match where Stephanie Baker defended the Women's World Championship against Nikki Bella. I really like this match. I thought they did a pretty good job. Stephanie and Nikki gelled well together. I was pretty surprised. And when Nikki Bella cares, she can work pretty good. She's like Carlito in that regard. When she cares, she's very good. When she doesn't care, she's the drizzling poop. She's the drizzling shits. She is just like Carlito. and obviously everybody knew the finish of this match, where Stephanie was gonna retain, obviously. But I think it was a good name to have on Stephanie's resume of title defenses. Now we've got the rematch of the November 10th edition of Monday Night Raw. Dominic Mysterio looks to regain the Intercontinental Championship from John Cena. I love everything they did here. Everything they did in this match worked. The only thing that I didn't really like was the spot that they did where Dominic faked the injury because the way it was done, it was the exact same way that Penta dislocated his shoulder. So I'm like, you could have done another spot to make it more believable. But I mean, this was Super Cena at its finest, where Raquel Rodriguez has to step in. Roxanne Perez hit Cena. The ref saw them. They got ejected. Then JD McDonough and Finn Balor came in. Cena kicked out. And when Dominic is about to cheat, Liv Morgan makes a return. Like, this match was built around John Cena. Was built around Liv Morgan's return. And what is Liv's and what will Liv do after being almost 6 months out? So she comes in, hits Dominic, she hugs Cena, and they do this pretty cool callback of the John Cena heel turn, where Liv hugs Cena, and then her face go stone cold, emotionless. She low blows Cena the same way he low blowed Cody. Dominic hits him with the title, and Dominic regains the Intercontinental Championship. The only thing that I didn't like about this match was the result, and I'm gonna explain why. Because, spoiler, Cena lost on Saturday night's main event to finally retire. And in my opinion, I was like, why having Cena lose 2 consecutive matches? That's stupid. I'm not mad that Dominic won. I'm mad at the timing of this win. Because Joel Hillman won on Saturday night's main event. This would have been a better retirement match than what we got on Saturday night's main event. And now we go to the main event with the men's WarGames match. And this match, oh boy, they, you know, like, let me just go back to when Roman makes his entrance. He's the last guy to enter for the babyface team. Brock Lesnar gets out of the cage, of the WarGames cage, to wait for Roman on ringside, and they start beating the hell out of each other outside of the WarGames cage. And I'm like, wait, Brock got out of the cage. That's a forfeit. Like, Drew McIntyre earlier in the match told Logan Paul, hey, get a chair, I cannot get out. But then Brock Lesnar is able to get out. Like, they killed the WarGames match in this bit. And that made this match meaningless. I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just for that tip, do not watch it. I punched the screen of my television so hard because of the logic gap that this. I mean, obviously I did not punch my TV, but you get what I'm saying. It's infuriating when you say the rules and then you shove the rules up your freaking ass and insult the fans' intelligence, which is what Triple H has been doing with his booking all this year, ever since Cena turned heel. Like, Cena's heel turn is up there with Austin's heel turn in 2001. Like, that heel turn in 2001 killed the Attitude Era and killed all the hype people had for wrestling, and they never watch again. John Cena's heel turn is up there with me. I'm like really close to stop watching the product for a while. I am really close, especially with what happened on Saturday night. So yeah, that's my review of Survivor Series WarGames. The best thing about this paper was during the build-up, William Regal saying, WarGames! That is the best part. Oh, and obviously War Pigs by Black Sabbath. That's it. I got nothing else to say. And now we talk about the 42nd edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. We got 4 matches. The show kicked off with the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes defending against the NXT Champion Oba Femi. Great match. Great finish. It was the only finish that they could have done. I really liked how Oba looked. I really like how Cody looked. Like they made them look like like irresistible force, maybe the immovable object. I'm happy for Obafemi that finally the main roster audience have seen him on a broader scale. And I said that and I was talking with my girlfriend a couple months back in a joking way, and I told her, hey, um, Obafemi should be the one to beat Cody for the title. Like, Obafemi should be called up and beat Cody in like 4 minutes. That's why I had Obafemi winning this match in like 5 minutes. Because it would make him look like a threat for when he gets called up. Because dear Lord, SmackDown needs heels on the men's side. And obviously Drew McIntyre interfered, he beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes, and then between Oba and Cody, they beat the hell out of Drew McIntyre, and they gave respect to each other. This was the only finish that I could see happening, because I didn't see Cody pinning Oba. That would have been stupid. Oba pinning Cody would have been a good decision, but there would have been a need for some shenanigans for that to happen. You know, I wouldn't have had Oba beat Cody clean for now. Next up, we have Bayley versus Sol Ruka. For me, as a match, this was the best match on the show. I really like the finishing sequence where they were doing roll up, then inverting the roll up on the other, and then Sol Ruka in that sequence turned it into the Soul Snatcher. Man, like that finish should be seen on wrestling school. Sol Ruka graduated with bright colors. She's ready for the main roster. Obviously, she's gonna be in NXT for a little more because of this storyline of decision between her and Saria. Before she gets called up. So I kind of understand it. And then we had, this match that I'm gonna talk about is up there with the Sol Ruka Bayley match as possibly the best match on the show. Dragon Lee and AJ Styles defending the World Tag Team Championships against Javon Evans and the TNA X Division Champion Leon Slater. These four guys squeezed 10 minutes of tag team wrestling into a 7-minute match. Incredible. And the in-ring awareness of Leon Slater at 21 years old is incredible after that AJ Styles botch where he was like, oh, okay, let me go for the pin now. Like, and how they were aggressive. They were like, just because we're young, you're gonna take us seriously. And even though AJ and Dragon Lee won, they look excellent. Like, it's incredible how these two guys are the future of the business. If Javon gains like 40 pounds and Leon Slater gains 40 pounds just like what Osprey did, incredible. They would be like that. And it feels like WWE is putting all the eggs on the Javon Evans basket. It feels like it for like to be a top babyface long term, and I'm here for it. And now the main event, John Cena in his final match against the Ring General Gonta. And as I always say, it doesn't matter how good a movie is, the ending can either make it or break it. And boy, did this ending break such a good match. John Cena taps out in the choke to the Ring General. And it's pretty interesting. Because 20 years of hustle and respect, like as a narrative, it makes sense for Cena to tap out in his final match, but Cena has been jobbing out to people, and I'm not even gonna talk about this match, I'm just gonna rant. John Cena has been jobbing to people for like 6 years now. He did a job to Taker, to Solo Sikoa, to the Tribal Chief, to Cody, to Austin Theory, to Bray Wyatt, God rest his soul. He did a job for who, wait, like John Cena wrestled, oh, he did a job to Finn Balor in 2019. He lost clean in the middle of the ring to Finn Balor on an episode of Raw. I completely forgot about that. I just remember that right now. Like, my guy, this shouldn't be what's best for business. Like, doing the honors in your final match is something of the territory. That's like in the 70s and in the early 80s. And I understand that. And I am from that same mindset that he should lose his final match. But since he lost in Survivor Series, just give the Intercontinental title to Gunther once again then. Because, like, right now with how the Judgment Day has, like, with the decision of the Judgment Day, with the Will Day, One Day, I am at the point that I don't care about Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania. I am at that point. I don't care. So, keep the title on Cena and give it back to Gunther, and you could do Gunther and Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania 42 or at SummerSlam, because I know that's the next match. Brock Lesnar is retiring next year. SummerSlam next year is in Indianapolis, so you can already write it down. Brock Lesnar is going to be retired by Gunther, which is good for his resume, but the problem I have with Gunther is he does not have the mic skills to back this up. He retired Goldberg, he retired Cena, he's going to retire Lesnar next year, and Gunther has no charisma. Give him a manager. The worst thing they did to Gunther was getting Ludwig Kaiser away from him. And now look at Kaiser with the Grande Americano gimmick. He's been excellent. Kaiser doesn't need Gunther. Gunther needs Kaiser. And that's my problem with this. If he still had Ludwig Kaiser by his side to be his mouthpiece, I'd be like, that's the right decision. But since Kaiser is no longer with him, it's a horrible decision. And Cena shouldn't have tapped out. He shouldn't have tapped. I would have had either Cena pass out or have him win. And you saw how the people in the arena booed Triple H, telling him that you effed up, you effed up. People were chanting AEW. And when people chant AEW, you know that you did a horrible thing. This was levels of Hell in a Cell 2019 of horrible, where Bray Wyatt beat Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell by disqualification. Winning by DQ in a Hell in a Cell. What the hell? You see what I did there? But man, this is the first big failure of the Triple H era, the John Cena retirement tour. And I'm worried for Brock and AJ next year, and for Jericho, because of the mismanagement. Yeah, because by the way, Chris Jericho has already signed his contract. I got the confirmation. He signed. He'll be back at the Rumble. Everybody knows it, but they're not allowed to talk about it. But I don't care. I'm just gonna say right now, Chris Jericho signed with WWE, as far as I'm concerned. And now my final thoughts on the show. The ending ruined the show. And the thing that I hated the most about Triple H is like, on the post show, he's like, he tells the fans after they chanting AEW and telling him that he effed up, he's like, is that all you got? I thought it would have been worse. And people caused a riot after the show where they almost on a live Gunther. He had to be escorted by the police. That I really liked because that's good heel heat. When the people want to unalive you and you're a heel, that's great stuff. So at least that's a good thing that came out of this. That's a good thing. But man, my childhood hero is gone. And then on Sunday morning, they put John Cena in the alumni section, which sounds wrong. You know what I mean? Like, John Cena in the alumni section sounds so wrong in so many ways. But yeah, that's my thoughts about those two about these two shows. So if you like this type of content, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Cherish beautiful moments with your families, create beautiful memories because life's too short, but those memories will last a lifetime. As always, this is Anthony, signing off. Bye bye.